Alright, so what I want to do today is just kind of walk you through a little bit of automation, some of the new changes, some of the old changes, some of the beta stuff, and just show you a few tips. This isn't really going to be like a tutorial or anything. This is more just showing you some of the stuff that's out there so that you know it's there, you know where to find it, and then you can kind of experiment with it on your own. So right here we have a truck that I've built, and obviously there's some custom stuff going on here. One thing I want to do is throw a dashboard in it and show y'all how to do that. But a couple of things I've done is enlarge the tires. I moved the track width out um, and enlarged the transmission tunnel. And I also, if you go over here to hide body, I also moved the engine backward. And if we select this little walking person, I can free cam around and show you a little bit better. So yeah, I moved the engine backward, so it's now behind the front axle, which I mostly did for weight distribution, but also for space. Because at one point I think I had a turbo engine in here. So with all that intercooler stuff hanging off the front, you know, you really run out of room and you gotta slide them back. But, alright, let's... Alright, so, I'll show you really quick. I think it's driver aids. So here, weight distribution. So if we hide the body again, what this does is this moves the engine block forward and backward. So you can tune that, and that actually will change the weight distribution of the car. Whereas if you go to fixtures, click on this little gear icon over here. This is your advanced settings. Now in here there will be something very, very similar where you can change the X, Y, and Z position of the motor. The only thing is this does not change the weight distribution. This is purely visual. But what I did was I sunk the engine down. Since this truck is lifted, I don't need the ground clearance. As you can see, there's tons and tons of room between the axle and the oil pan. So I actually sunk this engine down and then used the weight distribution slider to move it back. But again, this is not going to affect the center of gravity at all. All that did was just hunker the engine down and make it look, to me, more, you know, natural or whatever. And also allowed me to gain some clearance here from the transmission. And I think, I don't remember off the top of my head, I might have moved the firewall as well. So chassis track width is here. And this will change where your frame rails are. Okay, obviously in this instance I'm only talking about a body on frame car, but as you can see, if I move this in or out, it changes the whole width of the car. And hopefully I didn't just break my car. And that will change, you know, where your tires sit, as well as a lot of other things. Chassis tunnel size. This is this transmission tunnel. Wheelbase offset. This is a really good one if you're putting big tires on. What I did here was I moved that front wheelbase forward. And I just realized I should probably get myself out of there so that you can see that a little bit better. So yeah, so I moved this whole front axle forward a little bit and centered it up, because a lot of times when you lift these things and put big tires on them, the axle doesn't line up centered in the wheel well. And in wheels, we have our wheel offset, which is just, you know, where it basically adds like a spacer in between the rim and your hub. And and then tire diameter. Wheel width and tire diameter. Those are going to be your big ones. Nice and simple. I don't get too crazy with it. Let's see here. Somewhere we have tire materials. Roughness contrast, sidewall contrast, front tread depth. If we want to make these look a little chunkier. Ooh, that one's pretty sensitive, obviously. So yeah, maybe like 2.5. That's even too much still. There we go. 1.0. 1.0 for the tread contrast or tread depth. Just make those tires look a little bit chunkier, and you can adjust the contrast and stuff to make them look a little bit darker in there, make it look a little bit more realistic, you know. See what I mean? And on that one, I might just go 0.5. Even that almost feels like a little bit too much. 0.25, 0.25. See, now they come to life a little bit more, you know? Yeah, so, and then you can change the intake sportiness and the exhaust sportiness so that when you listen to the vehicle in beam, it'll just sound more aggressive. It'll sound more throaty. And let's show you how to work a 3D fixture, because this is something that took me a whole while. So, where's my interiors? I know I left them here somewhere. Interior 3D. Okay. So I'm not going to get super crazy, super out of hand here. I just want to dump in the quickest, easiest dashboard I can just to show you how it works, and maybe drop a beam screen in there while I'm at it. So first things first, we have to choose our dashboard. What are we thinking? Classic style? I think I'm thinking classic style, honestly. This feels very very 90s pickup truck to me, you know? Alright, so obviously this isn't going to help us. This is just stuck there, looking stupid, not being useful at all. So how do we get it inside of the truck? Well, you could scream at it for a while, which I initially tried, or tag this little 3D button right here. Now we need to make sure we're on the Move tab up here in this Advanced Settings, and we can just drag it in. And once we get it in there, we'll scale it and make sure everything's all good. And yes, you will have to kind of go back and forth between like body on and body off, just so that you can find the right place for it. And you know, you might want to set your window transparency to 100% so that you can see through the truck. So I can see right there that I need to come in just a little bit, and then once I'm in there, probably come down just a little bit, you know, because I don't want it clipping through the cowl, obviously, but I do want it in the cowl, and we want it far enough inside of the truck that it looks convincing, you know? It looks like it was meant to be there. And obviously we'll fix the scaling and stuff here in just a second. We'll stretch that bad boy out a little bit. And, you know, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, honestly. I just wanted to show you how to do it, and, you know, you will have to apply that to your own vehicles. So now we'll go to the scale, and what we want to do is we want to move the, you know, the lateral and the vertical at the same time, so that this thing scales sort of naturally. And then we'll go inside of here and just make sure that our dashboard is kind of ending up where we want it. So let's see, do we want it all the way to the door there, do you think? Oh, I just realized my mirror's poking through the body. See, these are the things that you could spend virtually unlimited time on. So now you have to make a decision. Are you going to sink it down? Are you going to shrink it like this? You know what I mean? How are you going to get it into the car? Because if I shrink that all the way down, it's not even in the right spot. See, it doesn't even cover up the... I really want it up here, but then I will have to... I'll have to shrink it down. It's just, you know, the way she goes. Does that make that steering wheel oblong? I don't even know. Don't even know. Alright. Go back to move. Doop. Okay. I'm gonna call that good because it's in, it's covering up for the most part the stuff I want it to cover up, and obviously you could come in here with more 3D shapes and, you know what I mean, you could fill in the gaps and make this all absolutely, completely, totally perfect. I am not going to do that. Okay, so here's our dash screen, right? Same thing. Make sure we have 3D placement mode and move. And then we will just drag it right into position. And then we'll scale it. And, oh, the other thing I was gonna do. Right here, see this panel material? We're gonna make this invisible, translucent. Same thing with this, translucent. Same thing with our horn button. Oh, that's the entire steering column there. Just whew, get rid of all of it, because we don't need it. And I'm not going to worry about that. You won't even be able to see it when you're driving the car. Alright. If you have an adjustable DPI on your mouse, this is when you might want to turn it down a little bit. Okay. What am I trying to do here? Scale. Let's go ahead and do what we can to fill this. Whoa. Fill this dashboard up. And yes, this will work in Beam. It's the race dash, if you're familiar with Beam. You know, it just has a bunch of numbers and stuff on there. It's not super exciting, but you know what? It's a functional dashboard, okay? So, like, don't complain about that. And I don't know how well they scale. I'm just showing you in case you decide you want to do that. You know what I mean? If it doesn't work, leave a comment about it. Call me all kinds of bad names. I don't give a shit. So, there's also... See, there's like dash fillers and stuff. There's all kinds of shit in here. Spend as much time on it as you want. Is it under miscellaneous? Yeah, export camera positions. So, there's two things. Two things I want to say about this. You could export the camera position using this, place it in there, you know what I mean, move it around, spend forever going back and forth. There's another option as well. You can, because it will come with like a driver camera when you export it to Beam. And you can now, not before, but now in Beam, you can actually tune your automation vehicles. One of those tunings is a camera offset. So you can use that in Beam with your specific car, you know what I mean? Create a saved profile in Beam for that car and tweak your camera position that way if you want. Or you can, you know, move one of these little blobs around and place it that way. So, I'm not going to bother showing you that. You can figure that out on your own. Alright, next up. Yeah, body. Also, some of these stability control modes are now exporting to Beam. So if you have the appropriate equipment, you can have like off-road traction control mode. Very, very cool stuff like that. And I know there's a custom text option in here somewhere. I don't remember where. Editable text. This is actually something that I wanted to look into, because I want to be able to do these badges without getting all painstaking about it. Oh, here we go. Oh, very cool. Very, very, very cool. And if I mirror that, what does that do? Oh my god, that's gonna make doing icons and stuff like that so much easier. As you can see, this is all separate pieces here. And I had to do each side individually. So now that I can do this, oh my god, that's gonna be such a lifesaver. It's a shame. The only bummer is I don't see an option to change the material. That's the only bummer I see so far. Just take a look really quick here. Insert a return. Text is too long to find the vehicle. Very cool. Very, very cool. Again, I don't see an option to change the font, which is a shame, but you know, maybe it'll come with time. Maybe it'll come with time. Wait. Did that go on the glass? Oh, how cool. It's on the glass. Love it. Love it. Okay. Engines. Let's see. This is probably all stuff you've seen before. The one thing I want to touch on is turbochargers. Also, make sure that your engine variant is 2020 if you want the most power. Obviously, I've got all the sliders maxed out on this particular engine. You know, it's making 1,100 pound-feet of torque. And it is not stressed at all. Harmonic balancer will help it idle and also help it rev. If you have a big, huge engine and you can't rev it past 3,000 RPM, put a harmonic balancer on it in addition to billet steel crank, lightweight. If it's turbocharged and you're making a shit ton of torque, you know, you gotta have forged. And again, throw a harmonic balancer on it, throw balance shafts in it. You know, this is 90 degree rather than a 60 degree, which most people run. So it uses balance shafts because it is not naturally as well balanced as a 60 degree, if I remember right. So, you know, this is an NA build, so it's high compression. Let's just go through some of the turbo options here, and obviously that, you know, it won't run like this. It blew up. So you can do a V8 single turbo. See, it'll kind of feed over with a little crossover pipe and feed the turbo. But if you're running a V engine, run 2 turbos, absolutely. And you know, if you have the budget for it, if you're going like no holds barred, just want, you know, good reliable power, smart boost. That will keep your boost more stable, and it won't do as much weird shit. Now, if you look at the boost here, 21 pounds, even on a small turbo like this, that's a lot, especially on a high compression engine. So we're gonna bring this right down, 2 pounds. You know, my AR ratio is at 0. I was in here just monkeying around. Let's see if this will work. Just give me a baseline. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. That just fucked up my whole tune, didn't it? So yeah, 1,500 pound-feet of torque, nice and easy like that. So let's walk through a couple of things that they did. They made the turbo itself much larger. The compressor and the turbine are larger, 2.9, 2.5. AR ratios at 25. Now if you look at this, so it still comes up at about 1,000 RPM. Okay, this is the turbo spooling right here. This is the turbo spooled, or effectively spooled. Only 7 pounds of boost. You do not need a lot of boost to make good power. You just don't. And let me show you. Okay. Turbo spooling, turbo spooled. Now, I know nobody understands what this graph means, and like I kind of get it. You know, I couldn't really explain it to you if you asked me to, but here's what I'll show you. If you run more boost, I mean, for one thing, it explodes, but it'll system aspiration top end. All right. Absolutely nothing is gonna make this fucker run. for good lord, Jesus Christ. So lower boost basically means you're using less of this, you know, map. Obviously this engine is not in any way set up for this. Also it's on single exhaust. That will restrict the turbo and make it run hotter. So like, if we go to a dual exhaust, for aspiration, let's take a look at our flow. See, exhaust's 44% now. Can we go up on the... No, we cannot. Temperature of the turbine. Good lord. Yeah, so, you know, like I said, this is not a turbo build. You know, the variable geometry turbo, again, along with the smart boost, will help you run a little bit smoother, keep it happy. Yeah, no, I do not want to do that. I wonder if this one will fit in there. Let's take a look here. This one makes 1300 horsepower. See, it's a little shaky. You know, I could probably come in here and spend some time trying to clean this up. Oh, this is a V8. Naturally aspirated. Wow. Obviously, I don't have these labeled very well. Does this engine even fit in this car? Holy smokes, look at the size of those turbos, huh? It only makes 200 horsepower? What the fuck was I building? A 96 cubic inch V16. That can't be right. The fuck was I doing? Oh, God. I am a silly bitch. I mean, it runs nice. Runs really nice. Engine family. Well, yeah, what the hell? Let's unlock this. Turn this thing into a stroker, huh? Yeah, of course the engine is knocking. I don't care about that though. I just want to know how much V16 I can fit in this fucking truck. You know, it's 600 cubic inch. That seems like enough. That seems like plenty, you know? Yeah, because it's on 40 pounds of frickin' boost. Holy hell. Oh, I see. These things won't run at 70 whatever 100 RPM. And these are all lightweight. Max torque is less. Max torque. Max torque. So I think that's going to be our issue more than... Okay, now here's a perfect example. If I throw some harmonic balancer at it, will it rev higher? Yes, it will. I just have to throw a... like a... Not going to help the connecting rods, obviously. 6,400. Yeah, let's try to keep it above 6,500. There we go. 36-pound harmonic dampener. And let's let her run out to 6,500 and go back in here and turn the boost back up until it starts knocking, basically. There's the knock, bottom end, compression. It's not running a super rich fuel map, and let's take a look at our compressor map. Okay, this is what I was talking about right here. Turbo spools, and then it runs in this zone. Okay, so it's actually not looking too bad. Let's see what happens if we just throw some fuel at it. I also want low quality fuel for some fucking reason. See if we run some ultimate grade fuel in this mammer jammer. And then come back here, turn the boost up. That's a lot. That's a lot. See, basically all it does, you're ramping up over here now, and you're still running across a nice zone, but you know what I mean. You want to just play with these numbers until you can kind of keep the turbo as much in this zone as possible, and it'll be happy, and you'll make power. I'm not even running 4 turbos on this thing; it's just 2. You know, and you can run 4 turbos on a V16. So that's the bulk of it. I love the way the V16 sounds. Okay, so yeah, that's basically all I wanted to cover. You know, if you have any more questions, hammer them down into the comments. And, you know, maybe I'll do another video if you guys want to see something a little bit more in depth, or if you want to see, you know, a build from start to finish, let me know. I can certainly do that. Yeah, let me know what you want to see. Let me know what questions you have. I build a Nike load of cars for Beam and stuff. So, yeah, get at me. And thanks for watching.